Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today on using Microsoft Teams with our NITRO Engage Bot. A NITRO Engage Bot is produced by the Crocan software, and we'll be able to show you what's going on with that during this webinar to some degree. It's a lot to it, and we'll try and get to a few sample examples. And while we wait for a few more people to join us, people still seem to be piling in, we're going to mention that there is a question box in your webinar screen. You go to webinar panel, and we'll be glad to answer any question or try to during the webinar, but if not, we'll get to it afterwards and send you by email. Also, we can always do a one-on-one conversation. We really like to hear from people and what their needs are and what their concerns are, and any question you want. So it's good. We've been doing this work inside of SharePoint and Office 365 for so many years now, and we're glad to share what we've learned and experienced with anyone out there. Now, I'm Scott Restivo. I founded the company some years ago, and I'm running this webinar for the most part, but I'm also joined by James. James will be helping with showing some of the examples and some of the information and way we can use the bot in Teams to facilitate the workflow and business process automation things that you want to do. Now, what I want to point out before we get going, that here's the screen, I'll drag it over. This webinar is part of a series we're doing this summer, and why NITRO Studio is better than Power Platform for business process automation. We talked about, that was back in July, we talked about how NITRO Studio compares in terms of the UI, UX experience, the forms, and the other elements of the UI. We all talked about the flow in workflows, how our NITRO workflows give you a lot of power and capability. And now we're going to talk about using Teams and the bot inside of Teams. And the basic contention we have here is that NITRO Studio is an affordable, comprehensive solution. What we run into with people using Power Platform, look, we're not going to denigrate Power Platform. It does have some uses, and people find it useful for some things. That's fine. But other people come to us and they say it's confusing and hard to use. There's many different things like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent, all these different things that have to be put together in order to provide a business solution. And then you aren't always aware of the cost that's involved, because Power Automate, for example, runs according to the number of flows and the number of, which is uncertain. People come to us, and we had one person who built, one group really, that built a large government agency that built a solution in Power Platform, Power Apps, Power Automate. Then they came to us and said, we don't know, the cost of this is like, we have no way to determine. It looks really expensive, how many flows we're going to have, how many this, it was just uncertainty that using NITRO Studio takes away and makes things much easier to do. Much easier to determine a fixed cost per year. We charge just by the number of users in your tenant or your number of WFEs if you're on SharePoint. I will make a note that we run in the commercial Office 365 as well as the GCC and the GCC High. So we're quite a capable program that runs, and we provide the forms and workflows comparable somewhat to Power Apps and Power Automate. We provide reporting, and we provide the bot that we're going to talk about today. If you don't know Crocan software, we've been around for 25 years. We've been doing business applications on the Microsoft collaboration platforms. We have our NITRO Studio. We're going to show one element of today, the bots, the teams, but also has a forms designer, a workflow designer, reporting, email manager, print manager, many components that are needed to build true business solutions. And we provide some out-of-the-box applications. Yes, we will get a recording at the end of this session. Someone just asked that question. I should have mentioned that. Yes, we'll have a recording available and make it available to anyone. We'll post it on YouTube usually, and then it's available to anyone who wants to use it. Okay, moving right along, because there's a lot we want to show, and I don't want to belabor too much on slides and things like that. I can get right into using the Teams and show what it can do with our NITRO Engage Bot. But NITRO Studio, I just want to make it a comprehensive platform of forms, workflows, reporting, portals, modern UI, chatbots, databases. We built this platform in order to build our own applications and meet the needs of the people who come to us asking for solutions. And we've been doing this for so many years. And we hope, we see that many of our customers are quite loyal to us and been with us for sometimes over a decade or longer using our solutions, because not only do we provide we think you very useful and practical solutions. We also have excellent support. We take it, being a smaller company, we really pride ourselves in trying to provide the best support and training and that we can, so you're successful whatever you're trying to do. So also want to make the point that we're running on SharePoint on premises 2013, 16, 19, and the new SE version, as well as Office 365 and Teams, including, like I said, the GCC for government people and the GCC High. So today we're going to talk about bots, and we'll be showing you those. Bots are essentially interactive interfaces and way to engage users in a new way. It's not that new, but different way, and Teams is a primary place where bots can be utilized in the Microsoft collaboration space. So, you have a bot and you interact back and forth. Now, there's the one kind of question and answer kind of bots. Those are okay, but we have business process automation bots because our bots are integrated tightly with our NITRO workflows, and that all works together to produce a solution for you. And I want to just point out there's a huge economic argument for using bots and Teams, and that your answers can be immediate. You don't have to, the user doesn't have to wait, the staff doesn't have to respond with something that's very routine. They run 24/7. And again, any device, Teams runs on mobile, desktop, and tablet. And we also have this telemetry that improves with usage. Now, there's a bunch of slides, and I'm of the mindset now to just jump right into what we do with the bots. And see if there's anything here that's more useful in these slides that I could show you that would be practical or useful for you. But yeah, I think it's really, we just go right into the scenarios here, James. And what I'm talking about here are business process automation bots, not so much QA bots where, like Q&A Maker from Microsoft, but some of that's in there. I mean, we certainly have the knowledge base. You can acquire our knowledge base in IT Help Desk and get an answer back. But we also want to emphasize the business process automation side of it. And one last thing I think we'll do before we go into the show is talk about our bot analytics services here, and that the fact that we're seeing what kind of conversations are going on between you and the users. And then we have this, what we call bot telemetry, so that you can improve this bot as you go along. Can I jump to that slide, or I have to go through everything else to get there? Let's see, staff can be more productive, better service to employees, business process automation with the bots, full integration with NITRO Studio provides complete automation. Again, we're making the point here that there is very tied into our NITRO Studio on the back end. Unified services so that multiple applications can run inside of the bot. And we'll show you that leave request. We'll show you the purchasing, IT help desk, project management. I'm just gonna go right into that because this is something that what happens with the webinars is too much yak and slides, and then people say, "Well, I didn't see what the bot was all about." So we're gonna go right into it, James. Right? Okay. A little bit of jump in there. It doesn't that sound good, right? Yeah, I know. People, I don't know. We can send a slide deck and people can read it. So let me get up the Teams. Let me see. Where's what's going on here? Teams. Where's our Teams? Oh, I know what I'm. Okay, I got it. Here we go. Sliding it right over is our NITRO Engage Bot. Of course, it doesn't look like much. It's more the business process automation that we're going to do here. That's going to be impressive, and this can run on the small screen of a mobile device. It can run on a tablet. It can run on the desktop. Right here, we're running in a desktop. So what happens with this? Well, you're in Teams, right? And you have, chat, you have Teams, you have Cal, you have all your stuff you want to do here. And then what we do is we pin the NITRO Engage Bot to the left side. Now, if that wasn't pinned, it's very easy to install. Simple installation process, not much to it. You can spread it out as much as you want throughout your team. And how much you want to use it. It's all that back end stuff we can discuss with you, in a different call. We're not going to talk about installation because it's pretty straightforward and slightly technical. We want to show you the functionality, but if it wasn't on pinned to your left, of course you can go here and you can pin these things, right? Pin, unpin, all that. So we pinned the NITRO Engage right here. If it wasn't there, the users could search here. Also, we have it so it can show up in various chats and channels and things like that. So that the bot, but let's just show you what the bot does. So I'm going to start with something called the purchase request side of things. And here I am, a user. I'm logged in as this guy PK, which is Pavan Kumar. That's the login, the user I'm using in this case, PK. And he wants to make a purchase of, I don't know, say a new laptop, right? So purchase. The funny thing is, you see, I even misspelled that. You can make your keywords and your commands such that it understands misspellings. It's kind of an interesting thing. But when it does, the person just has to type in here, I want to make a new purchase. And it could be anything. It could be, you know, buy something. It could be new purchase. It could be whatever keywords you want to put there. We also have commands that you can go to and find it in the bot commands. But a lot of people find it easier to just type in new purchase or new laptop or whatever. I want to buy something. It could actually work if you put the keywords in. I want to buy something. Okay, this guy wants to buy, what I say, a new laptop. Okay, so we'll go here and say a new, let me check this. Let's say a new printer. He changed his mind. He wants a new printer. Okay, and he's going to select it. It's a hardware. It's a normal priority. All these columns or fields on this form are configurable in the back end. And we're just doing this as a demo. If you don't want all these, you want more, you have different things. Maybe you have cost center you want to put in here. You have time of delivery location. Any of that stuff can be put in. That's just secondary to the fact that you know, it's able to show up in the bot quite easily. The person just sits there on the mobile phone or whatever, makes the selections, and is able to make a purchase right here. He just wants to buy one of these, and he's going to submit it. Now, this type of purchase, the way in our purchasing program is that it's below a certain limit. It doesn't need any approval, so it can go right off to the purchasing department, because we set in our purchasing program that below a certain threshold of cost, there's no need for an approval process. No, see, approval not required. It's going off. Purchasing is going to get notified that there's a new purchase. I believe we have that set up. I'll have to ask if we have that set up. Let me make sure if it showed up in the purchasing. But purchasing team can be notified, or you can send an email to them, or you can send something, you know, whatever you want to do with that to get them purchase. It's A, right? A-S-E, purchase in general. Did they get a notice that this has been what you buy, 5 iPhones? Well, they should get a notice. Maybe it takes a minute or two to show up. But the point is that this purchasing channel can get notified that there is a new purchase being made. At the same time, this purchase is in the back end here. And I'm going to go here. The back end SharePoint application, our purchasing application, now has the new printer right here, right? It's all here, ready to go. Approval not required. And it's ready to be handled in whatever way is the process. And that's what we can do with our workflows. Maybe when something's approval is not required, it goes immediately to procurement. And it could be, or we even create a purchase order. If you want to go from purchase request to purchase order, you can go here and create a purchase order right out of this, and it will happen and they'll be notified. It really depends what your process is and how you want to implement it. So we work the both ends. We work the team's end for the end user. End user doesn't know anything about this side. It doesn't have to worry about this side at all. All they want to do is see this side of making the purchase request, and they get approval not required. And then there could be notices back from procurement or from the ordering staff to say, we ordered it, it's due, it's going to come in next Tuesday. This communication goes on entirely in Teams through this Engage bot. It's pretty interesting. But let's go in and you could add a comment and view it in the browser and blah, blah, blah. So let's go do another new purchase that does require an approval. And let's see what comes up with that. I think this one will work. Okay. I just got to check the permission levels here. And so this one will require James's approval. Let's say a new iPhone, because it's over the limit. It's like it's $1,000, I think we put for this and everything. So hardware, normal, purchase catalog. You can have the catalog, have whatever you want in here, or just have people type in things directly. Again, I want to make the point that these fields are entirely customizable into what works best for your users. Maybe you don't need all this stuff here, or you have a different catalog. You want to pull it from a database in the back end. I don't know, things like that. So this is highly custom. That's what's wonderful thing about this bot in our workflows is the customability is just humongous. in terms of how you adapt, because we know that because we do it with many different customers all over the world, and they have different requirements. It's really funny how idiosyncratic all these processes are. There's a general baseline of purchasing, a general baseline of IT help desk or leave request, but when you get into the nitty gritty with organizations, you find that the workflow goes here, then it goes there, then it goes there, then it goes here, then it goes there, and you end up having to build those in. And that's what we made the flexibility of NITRO Studio do with our forms and our workflows, our bots, our printing, our reporting, and all that, the whole comprehensive package there. Now, James, did you get a notice that you need approval? This needs to be approved?
Has not come through just yet. Sometimes it takes a minute to do that.
Okay, so you should get a notice that this requires an approval. Let's go see if it showed up in our back end. Someone could be working the back end if they want. See it from this direction. It's more, you can go here, see it's pending approval, the new iPhone, $1,000. Oops, get that, kind of messing with that a little. So we go here and let's take a look at the ticket itself in the SharePoint backend system. Let's see, pending, let's see, new iPhone purchase. It automatically issued an ID, you can make it what you want. Priority, pending.
Just let you know that notification has come through. So it just takes a moment, but it comes through.
Let's have James approve this. Yeah, it's
okay, sure.
Nothing's automatic in the. Are you showing your screen now? Let's see.
I make sure I got the right one. And let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, I see it right there.
Okay, great. So you can see the approve, deny, and send back. So the person has some options to do one or the other of what they want to do. Let's say they want to view it. They could click here, and it's going to open up that record in the browser. So you can see it's going to pull up that actual form that was submitted that we're just looking at just a moment ago. So you can see, well, this is the approver task, and then we can always click over to that specific purchase request, so we can see what the details were if we needed to get more details about it. Of course, within the team's notification, within this notification here, there could be more information than what you're seeing. It's just very simplified right here, but you can certainly add more details into it as needed. But you can review the request. You can say, okay, it's $1,000 iPhone. That looks good. I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and approve that. And I'm going to make some comments, go for it, and approve.
Right, and the approval levels are set in the back end as part of the purchasing program as to the thresholds, and that could be by cost, it could be by department, it could be by location. There's many different places in our purchasing program where you can set up the parameters of who gets notified, and it could be anybody on the, and manager, and also James. There's multiple levels too, aren't there?
Yeah, I noticed it just noting it comes through my email, but also comes through over here that says it was submitted through. There's another one here. Oh, so this is another level. So this is the second level also coming to me, it looks like.
Okay, so it's over $1,000.
So it comes to me twice.
Yeah, I see what's happening. What happened is with $1,000, it has to go to 2 levels. Normally it want to be James and James, but we're only 2 people on this webinar, so we have to kind of make it. But it could go to James and then James's manager, or the department and the department head. And it shows that you can set up these things quite easily to make it so that it's like serial approval, all in teams. And now if I switch back to my screen and say, you're right, James.
Well, just real quick, I want to point out while that approval is going through is that there's also in the email. So just for ease of use standpoint, you got in the Teams app in the bot, but you also have in the email this lazy approval where the person can come in here and click approve and send, and that makes it really simple as well. So a couple different ways to engage with the approval process, but both are covered. You can see one does not supersede the other. Both are possible. It just depends where you're meeting the person where they are. If they're working from their email, they can hit approve and it goes through email. If they're in the Teams, it goes through Teams. The benefit of Teams is that it kind of pops up, gives a notification right there, and shows them right away that that's what they need to do. But yeah, go ahead. You can take it back.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. This multi-channel way of doing things makes it so that we can make it either, if you want to go to all these different channels, it's fine. If you want to just use Teams, you want to just use email, if people aren't used to Teams, whatever works, the flexibility and the power is there. And of course, we're in a Teams demo right now, so we are talking about I'll make sure I got the right screen. Yeah, we're talking about using Teams, in this bot inside a team. You can see right here, right, James? You can see that it was approved. Pavan got this card back saying it's been approved, and he can look at the item itself inside the browser if he wishes, but there's really no need. And then Pavan can stay informed by just not even ever having to know that the back end exists of SharePoint. You can, but users generally just want to know if it's been approved or not and when it's going to arrive, right? Don't need to all see the insights there. But what you can do is view, I think I got this command right, view open purchase requests. I may not have the exact syntax there, and of course you can make the syntax whatever you want, but let's see what it is if I do that. If that doesn't happen, then I'll go to the actual command itself and do it. Yeah, there, look at that. View open purchase request. This is the new iPhone that he ordered, also the new printer, approval not required. Here's the approval right here. And then he can open it up and look at the status of this. And what I like about the purchasing system, James, is that you can go so much further with this as far as keeping the user, say you're ordering multiple items, some items arrived and some didn't. You can do it by line item. You can do it by, when this order is going to arrive. When the order arrives, maybe you can let the user know automatically. And it's like when Amazon drops something off at my front door. It's I get a notice on I don't know, I get a text or I get an email or something that they just dropped it off. So it's kind of like that. So here we go, submitted for, normal, approved, and if he wants to add a comment like when this can be delivered, that can go off to the people. So it makes like a full circle using Teams. I mean, the person can just say, okay, and they're going to be informed. Now, I want to see if, and this is, I guess I should know this before doing the demo, but is it going to show up in the purchasing channel? Because one thing we want to point here is that you can have a channel running inside of Teams. If some people do this, right? They use there it is right here. Isn't this? No, this 5 iPhones was approved. Let's see. Yeah, I have to check the workflow, or email. Anyways, the idea is that you can have these purchases show up. I don't emphasize this too much because I don't know how many people, and we would love to hear from our audience here if anybody's doing that. Are people using Teams channels to do like purchasing or help desk or HR? It's kind of interesting how much can be used that way or not. I don't know. It really depends on people. Like generally go with email or SharePoint lists or things like that. But it is an option to use the Teams channels to do business process automation and have this we're starting to use them more and more internally for like sales discussions and project management. But anyway, all right. Another thing that we'll move right along into another scenario. Well, before I do that, let me check. And let me just show you that if a person wants to go here, they can just go into the commands and see all the different commands of the bot, which are highly configurable in the back end, just by go into that right now. But it's easy enough to set up what commands should be there, and you can have all kinds of different commands for different groups of people. This is what we mean by unification of services, that all the different services that a user needs to engage with for the company can be listed here, whether it's an access request, IT, leave request, project management, purchase request, which we were just doing, general request management. There's all kinds of possibilities of what you can put in the command bar so that people can come in and select what they need to do. And if they wanted to, they can just go here and submit a leave request directly right here, or access request, or view what requests already exist, or they can look at projects, and we'll show you some of that in a moment. They can look at their open requests. I mean, many possibilities. But this guy, Pavan now, he ordered the phones, but now he needs a vacation. Right? So he wants to issue a leave request, right? Is what he wants. He could put leave request. He could put whatever you want. You get whatever you want to put there for the command that opens it up. So now we have title, say vacation in October, right? And the request there is Pavan. Type, you can have different types of leave listed here. We have just some of the normal ones. Earn leave. He's going to start in October he's starting, I said. So he's going to take the 4th to the 8th off, right? And 8th, there we go. And he's, I don't know, fall what, leaf peeping, fall leaf peeping, right? Is that too early over there in New England, James, for fall leaf peeping?
It's getting there.
Isn't it funny here? You know, who's thinking now about fall? But it feels like already with the light getting lower and some leaves changing color. It's interesting. Anyway, he's thinking about the fall vacation to go fall leaf peeping, maybe up in Vermont or somewhere, right? So here we go. It's created. He needs a vacation. Created successfully. Again, he can look at his open HR request, his open request, his open leave request if you want. But James, didn't you get a message saying, because you're the manager of Pawan, I believe?
Yes.
Did you get one?
Yes.
All right, let me show your screen again. I'm glad James is joining me because I used to like switch from browser to browser by myself, and it's like gets a little confusing, like what browser you're in. But James is here to help, so that's great.
You can see my screen. Yes.
Yes, and we're anxiously waiting whether Pawan will get his vacation or not.
Of course, yeah. Pawan deserves to see the. You deserve to see the beauty. All right, yeah. There we go.
Whatever.
Just playing around. But yeah, just say okay. Request is approved and it goes through, and that should now go back over to Pawan for notifying approval.
Let me show you right here. Yeah, it happened right away. So your request is approved. Showing, right, James? Because it doesn't really put that red line around it.
Yep, I'm seeing it. Yep.
Yeah, your request is approved, early approved by James, blah, blah, blah. Same thing he just typed. And then if you wanted to go again to the back end of, where the requests are actually stored, that's kind of an admin, or you just want to, whatever. I mean, sometimes you have a need to do that. And then you come in here and refresh this because, it was pending when it started, but now it's been approved about a minute ago. And vacation, you can always open it up and get the detail. Now, the thing is this, like I was saying about purchasing, this can go to HR. It can go to right to a calendar, whatever workflow you want to run once it's approved for that, Also, there's things like you can do, like James as the manager can check how much PTO he has, Pawan has, and who else is going to be on vacation at that time, so you can do better plan. We're doing a little simplistic version because we are in a demo with only so much time, and we want to impress. I think that's true, right, James? You want to impress people about the power of the NITRO Engage Bot, right?
Oh, of course.
I mean, hey, toot our own horn a little here, but here you go with it's been approved by James and all that, and everything's here on the back end, on the team's end. Everything makes a really great unified system of activity here of vacation in October. And again, I believe it showed up on the team, the HR team. Let's see. I wasn't paying too much attention to this before the webinar, but let's see if it does show up. Maybe it does, but it could if they're human resources general. Yeah, leave request approved. Yeah, there it is right there. So if the HR team was using this Teams channel, they could see that, and then take activity from here, whatever is the next steps for recording it or taking track of, if, when the person comes back, did they actually take that time off, and then updating the personnel records. So that's that we showed purchase request, we showed leave request, two very common activities and how you can do that inside our NITRO Engage Bot. But now, James, I want you to, if you don't mind, go into the whole project creation thing we were talking about, switch screen, and you'll see how you can even create new projects and assign tasks from and view your projects from the NITRO Engage Bot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really just as simple as going back to those keywords that we were talking about earlier. It's really easy to connect this to a command, one of the bot commands, to say new project. So we can simply say new project, and it's going to go through and give you a link to launch a URL. Now this is we could set this up to be an adaptive card in Teams with the way we have this set up right now, is that's going to open up this new project form over in SharePoint. No big deal. We'll just go ahead and create a new project. And let's say I wanted to, migrate to SharePoint SE as a project plan. So we move to the subscription edition of SharePoint. It's a Microsoft client's Microsoft, project template is, let's say it's a strategic template. So you can have some different templates automatically created with our project tracker program so that you can automatically create milestones and automatically create tasks once you save this. Of course, approvals can be put around this as well. But we're talking about the bot, not projects. Just wanted to mention that possibility as well. We're going to go ahead and select myself as the project manager. We're just going to give it a start date of start at the beginning of next week. We'll end it. It's probably going to take a couple months. Let's put it the end of December, so we got some time to get this. That's just going to take that amount of time. So then submit it. Okay, so now we create the project. It's going to go through its process and do that. Create the milestones, create the tasks, etc. Like I said, those can be connected to a template and good to go. Now, now that we've done that, we can come back over to our NITRO Engage interface, and we can look at any open projects we have. But one other thing before I do that, I wanted to mention is that part of the project creation process is that it creates a team. So if you're looking at your project teams here, you'll see that it created this migration to SharePoint SE. This is a new one that just appeared. We can click that. It's got nothing in it because it was literally just created. But as part of that project creation process, you can get a team created for that project. Now, if you're back over in the project space, you can, let's say you wanted to add new tasks to that project. You've got some that are created as part of the template, but you want to go and add ad hoc tasks or new ones that are specific to that particular type of project that aren't captured in the template. No big deal. We can add those very easily in one of two ways. So one way to do it is we have another keyword here, phrase, I should say, called new task. And when we pop that in here, it's going to pop open our new task interface. So again, in Teams, we can connect our new task over to SharePoint SE. And we can do something like catalog existing site structure. That could be one of our tasks for our migration to SE. We're going to connect it to our project. You can see that the migration to SharePoint SE project just came up there. We're going to assign it to someone. I'm going to assign it to Pavan. And we could give it a description, get all URLs and site owners in a spreadsheet, something like that. And then we submit that. So now that's going to attach a new task to that migration to SharePoint SE project. And if we come over here to our projects overview, this might not be an active. Let me see where it is. Of course, now I got to find it. Here it is. Okay, migration to the SharePoint SE project. And you see there's our a task we just created assigned to Pavan. Now we can come in here and add some more details, but if we come back over to our NITRO Engage app, we can not only do it the way we just did it, which is create a new task and attach it to the project. We can also look at our open projects. Was that open projects? Was that the keyword?
Either that or view projects.
I think it was view projects. So let me see if open projects works.
Yeah, that works too. Okay, so, you put as many keywords as you want to have it open, yeah.
Exactly. So both open and view will work. You can see this is showing me all my projects that are assigned to me as the project owner. So I put myself as the project manager on this one. And you can see there's this migration to SharePoint SE project. I'm going to pop that open. And it's going to give me a couple options where I can add a task or add a milestone to my project right from the interface of Teams. And I'm going to do the same thing we did before where I add that task. Maybe not catalog the sites anymore, but delete old sites. That's going to be our new task here. We're going to assign that over to Pavan. They're going to submit that, and now back over on the Pavan side of things, there should be notifications going out to say this task was assigned to them. But you can see it's very easy to submit that task, and then we can come back over to our project space here. Let me refresh this and show that that new task was added to our migration to SE project. Now, again, you might need to come in here and do a few things as far as putting due dates on these things or putting some projected hours, but that's all fine. Because really the goal is to quickly add these things through the Teams interface, and then if you need to go and make further details and further updates, well, you can make other adaptive cards and other workflows that would bring the information forward into Teams, or you could just go directly into SharePoint and do it. So either way is fine. But if we also wanted to add a milestone, go into View Projects. This is going to bring up that same interface. We click on the project we want, and then we click on Add Milestone instead. And now we can add a new milestone, such as delete old sites, and just put that, maybe attach that previous project to it. Old
previous tasks, right?
Old sites, delete old sites, something like that. Whatever you want to put in there, hit the submit. So it's just going to create it. It's going to add it to your project. So now you can add milestones and tasks through the interface here. And then, part of what you can see through this migration to SharePoint SE card that comes up is we could maybe add some more information here about what the projects are, maybe what the milestones and tasks are. But this, it basically just gives you the idea that you can add your tasks, add your milestones. You can add other things in here as well. It's really easy to do that because this ties directly into our NITRO workflows. And I think I had this up. Where did I have it up? Somewhere in here. I had NITRO workflows. Here we go in the projects. And we were looking at the display project card. So you can go to the command so you can find out which card is actually coming up, which workflow is being invoked. But then you could come in here to our display project card, adaptive card, and you can see what's being shown. So we could add more information in here if we wanted to show additional information. But you can see that it's pulling in some information from the project. And then down below, you have some actions. These are create list item actions for adding that task, adding that milestone. Pretty easy to do, easy to set up. You just say what you want to map over, what you want the user to input. Some things are mapped over by default just because you want to connect, make sure to connect that a task to the project, that kind of thing, without having to select it separately. Or you could select it separately, but either way, you got the connections made to the milestones and tasks through the bot interface, and you can create them and make them, just add them to your project and build it out, and then it just gives you a way to build on top of that. So you can add other things in here, launch URLs, invoke workflows, a lot of things you can do from the Teams interface as configured through the NITRO workflow interface. Anything else?
All good. Yeah, let me show you the Pavon side of things. Okay, from all that project creation that James just did, Pavon meanwhile sitting here and he's getting these notifications in Teams that he's assigned these tasks. Well, one was a customization task that was part of the project template migration to SharePoint SE. Another was the other two were ones James created. One was through the create task, one was going to the project and adding a task, and that was the catalog, existing site structure, delete old sites. Those all have been added in here. And as James was pointing out, there's buttons at the bottom that can be, now these buttons are configurable, as he was showing you with what actions they do. So mark in progress would update the project, update the task actually, as being in progress, or marking it complete. And then you would see that task has been either marked in progress or completed. Of course, you can do the other stuff like add notes or add time log or even ask a question. I mean, all kinds of things you can do using the workflow. And 2 points here to make. One is that the beauty of this is it runs on the mobile device, and you could be using, like the swipes and fingers to, push buttons and, the mobile screen. You can see that this is like really almost a mobile interface in the size. And as well as the desktop or laptop. So the point is, like I think when James was showing that, as you can do like project management to some degree, I mean, by simply using your mobile device on the run through the Teams interface, through the Engage Bot. So it's really a powerful tool in many, many ways, and adaptable to what you need to do there. And the other point is something I forgot. It was a good point, but it was about mobile interface and I guess configurability and the functionality that you can put into this. All right, so then I'm gonna mark it in progress and mark it complete, right? how complete, percent complete, let's just say 50% complete. And this is cool because we could actually put like KPIs on the projects and all that, on the task and how much gets done. And then when all the tasks in one project get done, it's going to update the other task. I mean, it's all kinds of cascading cool. Like James is saying, we're not going to go into the project management in depth. We're already almost 40 minutes into this webinar. So, you know, you can see there's a lot going on here. If I do go to the project tracker and look at James's new active project here of migration to SE, we can see that this, oh, these are the tasks. So this task has been marked in progress with our you know, what we just did there, we marked it in progress. So, you know, successfully updated. Now, one thing we want to do before we get off of this webinar is talk about the IT side of things. So commands, and again, we want to encourage everybody to who wants to know more about it to talk with us, and you know, we can always do a one-on-one demo for your particular needs if you have something you want to automate. And again, this is part of NITRO Studio. It's not, you don't have to use the bot. You can use NITRO Studio without it, doing entirely everything in the back end or through portals or through email. That's the other thing. That's the other thing I was going to talk about, is that we're talking about Pavan getting notified in Teams, but he could just as well be notified, and it can be at the same time notified through text. We have an estimate of texting capabilities that he got assigned a ticket, or he can be notified through emails. So we have all these different ways of keeping them notified. Of course, this is a Teams webinar, so we're focusing on Teams. All right, let's look at some more commands we can do. And I think one interesting one, and we probably could go more in depth for anybody who's interested in IT help desk, particularly. We want to be able to skim the surface in the time we have right here. But what we want to do is show that in an IT world, our IT help desk world, we have IT help desk standard, which now includes the bot. So you can have this bot come if you get our IT help desk standard. Of course, for Office 365, the on-premises, the bot doesn't run on-premises. It runs in Teams, so you have to be in Office 365. And we have an IT professional that includes asset management, and that's quite popular. People tie in IT help desk tickets with their asset management, and really they're finding it a much more efficient way to run whatever service desk they have by having those together. And then throwing the bot in the mix really helps you know, close the deal, and I guess in a sense, because it's like now your users can come in and submit tickets, view their tickets, search the knowledge base. And some of these are meant more for the text, and we could that's another thing, James, we can isolate these commands by AD groups and by, you know, they all show up for me because, I mean, for us, because they are, you know, we're showing a demo, but if for end users could see a very limited view of this, right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah, usually in the IT ticketing scenario, the end users would only see the top 4 of those in the list, and then your backend staff would see the bottom 4 of those. I guess I could see all 8, but the key point is that the top 4 would only the top 4 would be visible to your end users. The bottom 4 would not.
Okay, let's do search KB articles, and you can set the bot up to be automatically searched so that when the person just comes to it, it already knows that whatever you type in is a search text. But let's just say printer not working. I don't know, it seems to be a common thing people go to. And if there's any KB articles in the back end of the IT professional or IT standard help desk, it will try and find them and pop them up. And of course, it's a demo, so we have it kind of pre-canned so it pops up. But there we go. But you know, we can help you build your knowledge base. We can, if you're using it, and this is the way. What we're doing with the IT help desk bot is so that it becomes the immediate self-service before they create a ticket. So the first thing they'll get is a screen. You know, this line that says type a new message will be a search, and it'll search the KB and provide it, and then it will allow them only after they go through the knowledge base articles and review them to go to the next steps. Now that's one option. Some people like that, some don't. I'll be honest with you. Some people say, well, our end users find it a pain in the neck to do that. They just want to submit a ticket. Something broke, fix it. You know, I don't want to go through some KB articles and read it. I just want to, you know, send the ticket in, and you know, yeah, that's understandable. Some people operate in that mode. And so, but it's up to you how you want to run it. We give both options. So what we're doing here in the demo is a softer approach, which is that, well, there is an option in the command bar to search the KB if the person is willing to do it. One advantage of this is just what I said earlier about the 24/7. It's late on Saturday night, you know, it's 11:30, you're trying to print something, like anyone's doing that, but whatever, it's potentially theoretically possible. Someone's trying to print something, it's not working, and maybe they'll get a response right now on how to fix it, right then and there. From an article, no involving staff, no calls late at night, they get the answer right away if the articles in the knowledge base are sufficient. And this brings us back to another point about our bot telemetry, is that you can go and record what questions have been asked and how efficiently they were answered or not answered at all. And then over time, the bot improves, because what happens is you say, oh, if we had an article about that, it would have answered that question or would have answered these other questions. And then you build your knowledge base that way by looking at the telemetry and the statistics that we provide as part of the bot and saying, and again, we can help you with that too if you need to get started on that. And then you see like, oh, we should create these articles, and then the bot will improve with, it doesn't really learn in a sense, but it improves in the sense that there's more knowledge-based articles that are pertinent for the user to go with. But let's say that this article, you know, you can open the article, look at it. If the person, if that doesn't satisfy their question, then they can go over and do one of these other things. My problem's resolved. I want to enter more detail, kind of like do another search, show related articles, or go ahead and submit a ticket. So let's go ahead and submit a ticket. And that, of course, they could have gone directly to submit a ticket, and it really depends how you want to direct users. It's been submitted here. I think I can click this and open it up if I remember right. Here's the help desk portal. Oh, we're going to our portal with this one. See, this is like the user portal it's going to, but there is a back end to this. IT professional, I believe I have it over here somewhere. All tickets in IT professional. I think it's right here. Let me refresh and see if that ticket got submitted. Printer not working. Yeah, right here. See, it got submitted automatically to the back end, and then all the workflows that are associated with a new ticket being created can run, such as notifying people that there's a new ticket and all that. Now, James, I think from your side, you can go, and this is probably one last time we'll switch screens, but you can go and show that you as the technician can go and look at all the open unassigned tickets and then find it and assign it to yourself and do it, but you know, as a technician. And we could even inform a certain group that there's been a new ticket submitted. Depends how much you want to be notified by it, you know, by email, by text, by Teams, you know, it's really up to you. Very configurable. Just turn the dial, set up the workflow. Oh, here you go. So you're looking at
same as that commands. I clicked the view all unassigned tickets command, so you can see the ones that are unassigned, that are open. They're going to click that card. It's going to bring up this card, and it's going to give you an option to pick up or assign. And if you pick it up, you can assign it to yourself. So it can say, or it can ask a question to the user, which printer is having an issue, and hit OK. So that's going to pick it up. It's going to assign it to myself. It's going to also add that work log note to the ticket so that the user can take a look at that and respond and you know, put their notes in, say what kind of printer is having the issue, or if there's another question, whatever it is. So I think this should now have gone back over to the user, right? But then the other thing too is let's do that again. So if you do commands, and we'll view the unassigned tickets again. Oops, actually I was supposed to open this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, view all unassigned tickets. You can see that one that was there disappeared. Now there's a new one on top. You know, let's say printer needs toner. See, there's the ticket assignment. There's our notification on the ticket assignment that's come through now. We can update the work log from here. So that's you know, coming to me because I was the assigned person. But now I'm picked up another ticket.
You know you're going to assign the ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else assigned it to you.
Yeah, that's true too. If someone else assigns it to me, then I'll also get that notification that says I'm the person who is responsible for it. So let's say
what's cool over here, James, is Pavan just got a note that says work log updated by James, and then I could go in and comment and you get a message back.
Right.
So there's like, oh, what printer? Oh, it's printer XYZ, and then you get it back, and it's all recorded as a conversation in the back end ticket. It's pretty cool, huh?
Right, and in the meantime, if you go ahead and do that, because in the meantime, I want to show that I can come in here and, well, I'm gonna have to just.
Okay, I'll add a note, printer. It's been fun to play out these scenarios, it's kind of funny. But okay, printer XYZ for lack of better. Usually say, okay, I'll be even more. Printer in accounting office, right?
Right.
Got to print those checks, right?
That's right.
See if it goes back to you. It should go back to you to say like, oh, there was a comment added by the user, and things like we'll see if it happens in the time of the demo because we're running up to like last 5-10 minutes here. See, there's so much to this bot, it's so cool, all the different things you can set up. And really, we really emphasize it's a business process automation bot. It's here to help your business run more efficiently and help your users get answers quickly and more quickly, or quicker. I guess quicker is the word. Quicker. Yeah. When you talk so much, it's like you forget. Well, anyway, get your answers quicker. There it was. What's that?
No, I was just clicking to see if it had to like refresh. It should take a minute. Yeah, it should come through. I mean, might take a minute. Like I said, might take a minute or two to come through. And in the real world scenario, that minute or two is usually not that big of a deal. Of course, in terms of demo,
it seems like everybody
seems longer.
But the thing is, any one of us.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. There, it just came in. It just came in. So there you go. So printer and accounting office, right? Okay, great. And then I can add notes. I just put in an order for a new printer.
The beauty of this is that you don't ever have to go to the back. I mean, you could go to the back end SharePoint and deal with it if you wanted to, and sometimes you want to. Other times you want to do it all in Teams, and it could be a very quick interaction. Like, oh, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And even in this, you could open up, like, if you know the person, you can open up chat in Teams. You could open and then even do screen shares eventually, if that's part of what your resolution scenario is. So it opens up, and I got that back that said just what you put in, James. On my side, work log was updated again. And of course, if you resolve it and close it, it will give me a notice, the Pavon side notice that it's been taken care of. And that really helps preclude users asking about status all the time. But the other thing is you can do this, James, and you can look at view all assigned tickets, view my assigned tickets, you being the ones assigned to you as assigned staff. And right. I could look at the ones that are all my open tickets and find out the status of that ticket at that time in real time, without having to monkey, navigate my way back to the SharePoint list and see it. And of course it's exactly there. It also shows up in our portal. If they want to use a portal, it shows up all these different places. So very comprehensive tool for that, different kinds of engagement. Now, there's a number of other things we could show you. There's access request systems there, and really any one of ours. People sometimes are doing asset management, asset being physical equipment, where what would happen is if a maintenance is due on something, then you can be notified in Teams that upcoming maintenance is due. Or a contract expiration, you could be notified. So all kinds of things you can do in Teams. And the other part using Teams, we talked about the NITRO Engage Bot, we talked about sending messages to channels, we talked about using channels. We even have the capability in Teams to, let me see if I had that going in one part of Teams, is to have a support channel too. So if you have a support channel, you can have support running in Teams, people talking to each other, handling issues, what about this, what about that, and then also show the portal in there, the help desk, calendars in Teams. I could show some of that on my side, and that'll take us by.
I'll show you real quick on the portal piece of it. Is that here we are again in the context of Teams, but you can show, so you got the portal. You can do a knowledge-based search. You can do a submit new ticket form, again, all within the context of Teams. So you can just take those, those pages, put them in here, and you've got it all right there for your users. Now, this is maybe more of an iteration for your end users to engage with the portal side of things. But I think your point was that there's a support channel that you could also support over here, and maybe have maybe you want to show something specific about that. But I know there's a support channel, our support team that we have over here.
You know what you can do with the new conversation? You can even put at NITRO Engage, and it will show up, then you could send a command to the NITRO Engage, such as, show all unassigned tickets. So in a group format, you are able to, you got to put a command after it, like view open ticket. View overdue tickets or something. I'm just thinking if in a scenario where you're in a group conversation with the IT staff, say, oh, I want what overdue tickets we have going on here, and and I'd have to show, when you have the syntax down, it works all just great. Overdue tickets or something. Overdue, view overdue. I don't know if that
works. This one doesn't seem to have the.
We didn't try this out before the demo, but that's the kind of thing that can happen, that it would show you the list of tickets there.
Yeah, this one doesn't seem to have those commands set up. Maybe there's another one we have, but that you can do it.
You know what it is? I now remember. On the back end, you can decide whether NITRO Engage is going to show up and be active in a channel or not. So it's part of our team's governance thing with the bot. We don't want the bot showing up everywhere to everybody. We don't want it to be unmanaged like that. So there's a lot of controls on the back end as to what groups can see it or what channels can see it, and all this kind of stuff. But if once set up, it could very easily do what we're just talking about. Anyway, we're getting towards the top of the hour. We'll probably end it at 1 hour. We hope that anybody involved will get in touch with us and ask us questions or dig deeper into how teams can really be utilized to further your goals and any kind of business process automation scenario: purchasing, leave requests, IT help desk, ASICS requests, what else? Projects. I mean, so much, and we enjoy it, and we find that Teams is getting more and more useful in this manner, and our Engage bot certainly pushes in that direction when used in conjunction with our NITRO Studio and our NITRO workflow. And again, this isn't like extra cost for NITRO for power virtual agents or assistants that run up the bill. This is part of the NITRO Studio, and we're glad to talk to you more and more about it. And any other questions? Let's see.
Yeah, I think what's the best way to get in touch? I think you just email sales@crowcanyon.com. It would be that's super simple way. We'll strike up a conversation, and whatever you need, we'll have a discussion. We have we have a form on our contact form on our website, so send that in through the contact form if you want to get some information that way as well.
All right, and then give us a call.
Give us a call. Absolutely.
Yeah, on the website, all the information there. All right, well, thank you everyone for attending. Thank you, James, for all your help. And I think it was, it was a good showing all. It's very interesting. I could go further and further with this, but we'll keep it to the top of the hour, and hope to hear from people. Thank you very much for attending. And if you're watching this recording afterwards, be sure to get in touch. Let me put up the one screen at the end for the contact info, and we'll end it on that. Let me see where to learn more, and put that screen up here. Geez, I'm so incompetent with this stuff sometimes. Let's see.
You're good. You're fine.
All right, here we go. Presenter, make presenter myself, right? Show my screen. All right, just to have some phone numbers and contact info so you can see it as part of the recording here. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, James, and thank you, everyone, for attending. We'll talk to you soon. Hopefully, we'll talk to you soon, and we'll do some NITRO Engage bot building or NITRO Studio for you. All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thanks all.
Audio. Bye-bye.